The MVP discussion hasn't really been talked about in a positive light this year. There are people saying this is the most useless MVP argument ever. There are people saying that this is a weak MVP race, but I still am really invested into the MVP this year. And I got my 5 candidates who I got ranked in order from worst to first or most deserving to the front runner right now. And right now, at number 5, I got to go with Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he didn't play that bad against Miami. He did throw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but the last couple of weeks, he definitely hasn't been able to keep up the same level of play that we saw out of him when they balled out against the Philadelphia Eagles. But he hasn't played bad enough to be completely removed off this ranking. So I still have him at number 5, and his last 2 games, he should be able to bounce back. He has a big-time matchup this Saturday on ESPN in prime time against the Detroit Lions. So if he balls out in that game, he could definitely find himself back up in the top 3 like he was a couple of weeks ago. But with the 2 weeks of football that we've seen out of the Cowboys and him, he's at number 5. I don't have Tyreek Hill here because he's not going to get the 2K yards, and he missed the game too, so his MVP momentum is pretty much over with. I got Chris McCaffrey at number 4. If there was a non-quarterback who had a legitimate case to win the award, it would be Chris McCaffrey. You can definitely make the argument and say that he's the most valuable player on the San Francisco 49ers. He was the only player that actually did something against the Baltimore Ravens. He still had the touchdown and ran for over 100 yards on the ground. Brock Purdy had 4 interceptions. The defense didn't play good neither. He was the only player that seemed to have showed up for that game against Baltimore. And Chris McCaffrey, the reason why he isn't a little bit higher is because the guys above him had just been playing at such a great level, and plus they're quarterbacks, so they got such a bigger impact on the outcome of the game. But if you take Chris McCaffrey off the 49ers, then this is a completely different team, so he definitely does deserve to be up here, and he definitely does have a legitimate argument. He has a great case. Like, Brock Purdy has played good, but Chris McCaffrey is a big reason why Brock Purdy has been able to sustain the level of success that he has been able to play at over the course of this season. You take Chris McCaffrey off San Francisco, this team is not what they are with them. Josh Allen comes in at number 3. Josh Allen, I don't think he has been talked about enough for the most valuable player award up until the last couple of weeks. He didn't have that great of a game performance-wise against the Chargers, but they still won the game. You still got to look at what Josh Allen has done. Ever since that Broncos game when they just went nuclear with the turnovers, he's been playing some great football. I just accepted the fact that he's just going to have a couple of turnovers. That's just the style of play that he has. He's carried Buffalo on his back. There's been moments when this defense has folded on them, like against the Philadelphia Eagles. They should have won that game. But Josh Allen, minus the turnovers, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Even with the turnovers, he still is a top 3 QB in the league right now. Some may argue that he's just as good as Mahomes and Lamar. That's a discussion for a different day. But the reason why the Bills are a dangerous team if they're able to get into the playoffs is mainly because of Josh Allen and how dynamic this offense has been with him underneath center. Not just his ability to push the ball downfield, but all of the crazy throws that he makes, all of the big-time runs that he has when he's running dudes over like he's Marshawn Lynch and Madden 25. Josh Allen, with 2 more good weeks of play, I definitely feel he could top Brock Purdy for that top spot on these rankings. Brock Purdy's coming in at number 2 for me. I'm not going to drop him too far off just because he had one bad performance against the Baltimore Ravens. Yeah, it was really ugly, but 4 interceptions, it's not like he's done that in every other game that they played in. Every other MVP candidate has had a couple of bad games. Even Lamar Jackson, who is number 1 on my ranking. And the reason why I got Lamar at number 1 is it's pretty obvious. Like Lamar Jackson, he was the best player on the field when the 49ers and the Ravens played. He was unstoppable damn near. He's been unstoppable all season long. The statistics don't really do Lamar Jackson justice. When you watch the games, on third down situations, he's buying time for guys to get open. When nobody's open, he's picking up the first down with his legs. He's just so dynamic as a runner. And now that he has Todd Monken, who's been able to elevate him to a different dimension when it comes to throwing the football, he's a true definition of a dual threat quarterback. And I still don't believe that this Ravens offense has maxed out. You see, my vision of the Ravens offense is that they should be so good where there's not really a reason why they don't score on every single possession. Lamar Jackson, with his athleticism and how good of a passer he is, there's really no reason why the Ravens should ever get off the field. This should be like when you're playing somebody in Madden online who gets Lamar Jackson and how it's tough to get them off the field because he can run and do all these crazy things. That should be the same story for real life. Like, Lamar Jackson, the Ravens should be scoring on at least 70 to 75% of their offensive possessions. Like, this dude is just so gifted as a quarterback that when he's on, he's the most talented QB in the league. More talented than Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes ain't running 4.28 like Lamar Jackson is. He doesn't have the dynamic running ability that Lamar has. So Brock Purdy is in at number 2. I'm not going to drop him too far off. If he has another bad game against the Washington Commanders, then I might just take him off the list. But he comes in at number 2. Josh Allen is in at number 3 for me. CMC is at number 4. And Dak Prescott is in at number 5. These are my Week 17 NFL MVP rankings. Comment your thoughts in the comment section down below. And the last thing I want to talk about is this.